The man who would become Peetie Wheatstraw was born William Bunch on December 21st, 1902. Not much is really known about his early years, but close friends like Big Joe Williams go on to say that Cotton Plant, Arkansas was his hometown. Around the year 1929, William Bunch arrived in East St. Louis, which would be his home for the rest of his life. Upon entering the city, he was already going by the name Peetie Wheatstraw. He was also a proficient guitarist when he arrived, but soon began to focus more on developing his piano skills once he started playing in local clubs and juke joints. By 1930, he was one of the most popular blues singers and entertainers in St. Louis. In fact, that very year he made his first recording, Tennessee Peaches Blues, which is a duet with an unknown blues artist named Neckbones. Even with the ravages of the Great Depression upon America, the music of Peetie Wheatstraw remained immensely popular. During that time, the number of blues recordings had to be drastically reduced, and some even halted. But still, Wheatstraw went on to become one of the most recorded blues singers and accompaniments of this period. The Discovery of American Historical Recordings has listed over 200 recordings of Peetie Wheatstraw from 1930 to 1941. A link with information about each of those recordings will be provided in the description below. The movie Crossroads, starring Ralph Macchio, hinted at the enormous popularity and influence of Peetie Wheatstraw during the 1930s. In the movie, there's a scene with a young Willie Brown standing at the Mississippi Crossroads where Robert Johnson had just recently made his deal. At one point, Scratch's assistant asks Willie Brown, "Do you want to play like Peetie Wheatstraw?" That's interesting to note because it reminds us of just how popular Peetie Wheatstraw was during that time, and how influential he was, especially in the music of Robert Johnson. To hear an example of that influence, listen to Peetie Wheatstraw's Police Station Blues, and then Robert Johnson's Terraplane Blues. Sadly, there's only one known picture of Peetie Wheatstraw. In it, he's holding a National brand tricone resonator guitar, which is ironic because he was known more around that time as being a piano player who was often accompanied by great guitar players like Charlie Jordan, Kokomo Arnold, or Lonnie Johnson. However, in a New York session on March 15th and 17th, 1932, it's believed that Peetie Wheatstraw accompanied himself with a guitar on 4 tracks. Police Station Blues, All Alone Blues, Can't See Blues, and Sleepless Night Blues. After this recording session, there was a 2-year gap where Wheatstraw didn't record. Petey began recording again in 1934, where he would go on to record music every year until his death in 1941. However, it's believed that he never played guitar again on any of his future recordings. November 25th, 1941 turned out to be the final recording session for Peetie Wheatstraw. On that day, he recorded Hearstman Blues, Mr. Livin Good, and then eerily enough, his final song, Bring Me Flowers While I'm Living. In his last line, he sings, "Don't bring me flowers after I'm dead. A dead man sure can't smell. And if I don't go to heaven, oh well, I sure don't need no flowers in hell." On December 21st, 1941, Wheatstraw and some friends were celebrating his 39th birthday when several of them decided to get into a Buick to find some more liquor. Guitarist Big Joe Williams was with them, and they dropped him off because he wanted to head home early. With only a block left before reaching Petey's home, the Buick crashed into the tail end of a standing freight train. All 3 inhabitants of the car were thrown from it. 2 of them died instantly, while Wheatstraw lived for another 5 hours. The newspaper article which reported the accident stated that the impact moved 10 standing freight cars. Peetie Wheatstraw had given himself several nicknames that he really played up during his years performing. The Devil's Son-in-Law and the High Sheriff from Hell persona seemed to already be in place when Wheatstraw originally came to St. Louis. You have to remember that this was years prior to Robert Johnson's own recording sessions. Not to mention, people yet weren't associating the story of the Crossroads tune. In 1977, Rudy Ray Moore of Dolomite fame made a comedy film called Peetie Wheatstraw, the Devil's Son-in-Law. While it borrowed the name and moniker of the real-life Peetie Wheatstraw, the movie itself has nothing to do with him. When you get the chance, check out some of Peetie Wheatstraw's music. There's a whole lot of songs out there. Let me know what you think about them. If you have a particular favorite, any that you don't like, just let me know.